Group 3, and she is not from Texas, but rather from Long Beach. Give it up and welcoming Amy E.
Like Angel said, my name is Amy Juarez, and I'm here to represent YoungLife Impacting Hearts. So your typical YoungLife area, why is it? Sorry.
Say this to the mic. You're by the mic. You turn it off. There should be a switch.
Sorry. Okay. So here we go. So your typical YoungLife area focuses on a geographical location. For example, Pasadena, and within that city, you have high schools and middle schools that they focus on. Impacting Hearts is a little different in that sense. We focus on a demographic, the demographic being the foster system. We have partnered up with churches in the communities and strategically opened up our 3 clubs in 3 different locations, including Torrance and Long Beach shown up there. So, to look at LA County a little bit, there is an estimated 1.5 million people under the age of 21. Out of the 1.5 million, there are nearly 20,000 who are in the foster system. African Americans and Latinos make the vast majority of the kids in the system. Latinos are 57%, while African Americans make up the other 37%. So what are these kids facing? Their physical and emotional needs are neglected, and they are at higher risk for they're being exposed to drugs and alcohol. Foster youth in the system experience trauma. Some of them turn to suicide as their easy way out. LAPD reported that 59% of the homeless youth removed from the streets come from group homes and foster homes. Girls between the ages of 10 and 16 are at higher risk at greatest risk of being targeted for sex exploitation. These kids desire love, affirmation, and a family, so they turn to gangs and prostitution, even if it means being subjected to extreme violence and abuse. Adela Estrada Lai is a Children's Services Administrator at DCFS Lakewood. She has been with us since day 1 at our club in Long Beach. She is a great supporter of us being there and being in the youth's lives. She says this about mentoring and impacting hearts. Mentoring is very important, especially for youth who do not have a stable and nurturing relationship with their family. It gives the youth opportunity to express themselves with a caring adult who can talk to them through challenges and can help them problem solve. Mentoring provides the opportunity to be heard and respected, which helps them to feel more valued and worthy, thereby increasing self-esteem. The youth clearly enjoy the positive relationships that are created through the mentorship of Impacting Hearts. The youth in foster care have been abused and or neglected in some fashion and have often received negative attention from their family. Sorry, I lost my place. So for them to have positive connections with adults helps them gain trust in people. What they learn from being in a positive relationship is something that they can gain knowledge from and apply to their lives. An example, or 2 kids that are come to our youth clubs. Ty Barnett, he's been with us for like 7+ years. He is 23 years old, and every week he comes in with this amazing energy and a smile on his face. He fills us, the leaders and the kids there, he fills us with laughter and joy just seeing him. He is this giant goofball. And looking at him and just hanging out with him, you'd never think that he had gone through such a hard life. So ever since he was younger, he was been in the foster system. He's been in 13 different group homes. He suffers from epilepsy. And this is an example of their needs being neglected, their physical needs. Their foster mom wouldn't feed them. I remember once he told me that she would lock the refrigerator doors and not let them eat if they were hungry. He had this to say about Impacting Hearts. Impacting Hearts has helped me in many ways. Before joining Impacting Hearts, I was lonely, doing the wrong things, and was a very different person. The first day, I felt like I had a new family. Without them, I'd be homeless and living on the streets. Impacting Hearts is a big part of my life. Another one of our youth is Nathan. He has been with us for 4 years. Impacting Hearts has had a great impact on my life. Every single leader has taught me how to be independent, and everyone understands me. They have lifted my confidence and inspired me to do things that I thought were impossible, like graduate from high school. I honestly thought I'd never see that day that I graduate, and for that I am extremely grateful that God has blessed me with some of the most amazing human beings. Earlier this year, Nathan approached his leaders and asked to be a leader at Impacting Hearts, and that was really great, because you see the difference that we're making in these kids' lives. So, how is it that we're doing this? Up there I have a bunch of pictures of Impacting Hearts at club and in outings and just hanging out with at places. So our mission is to reveal God's love, truth, and grace through real relationships that provide youth with love, support, and the opportunity to succeed. We believe that real relationships fill real needs. By fostering these relationships, we earn the right to share the gospel and apply it to one another's daily lives on a regular basis through our words and our actions. We give them a place where they can feel safe, be themselves, and let loose. A place where they can feel welcomed and unconditionally loved. Every week, 3 times a week, we have clubs where they can come and hang out. We have mixers and skits where they can have fun and get wild. The majority of these kids don't have family-style dinners at home, so we serve them dinner and sit down with them. We talk to each other about lives and what's going on. Outside of club, we meet them where they are. We go to their games, to their school performances and events. It can be as simple as going to the beach. Josh, 15 years old, showed up there in the sand, on the picture in the sand, had shared with one of our leaders, Jay, that he had never seen or been to the beach. Jay picked him up one day and just spent the day at the beach with him. Not only do we want to be there for these kids at club, we want to be there with them outside of club, live life with them, and share amazing experiences with them. Experience that we usually take for granted. Excuse me. So aside from our committed leaders who give their time to this organization every single week, the contributions made by our donors help us continue to have club for our foster youth. In order for us to keep doing what we're doing, we need donors like you. Each night costs us about $100. This covers the cost of food and everything we need for it. It covers the cost of supplies for program and club. It also allows us to have game nights or movie nights with kids outside of club. This comes out to $1,500 a month. I need 15 people who would like to partner with Impacting Hearts for the next 2 years and give $100 a month to keep this ministry going. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Amy. Again, in the theme of how ministry is impacting so many different elements, we're working with foster kids now. You know, I'm curious, how long on average are you able to have a connection to a foster kid before perhaps they move on?
It definitely depends. Something as simple as something happening between a group home and a kid could send them off to another place. For example, one of our kids, he was dealing with cutting himself, so they had to send him to another group home where he'd be monitored 24 hours, and we only got to see him for like a year.
Wow. Yes, Mateo.
Is there any additional training that comes with being a leader for Impacting Hearts, just because you guys are dealing with a lot heavier stuff than a normal high school kid?
Yeah. So what we do, I don't know if you guys do this too, but we have a YoungLife handbook that is given to us by our regional director, Alan, and we go through that book, and what we do as our area director or some of our other leaders, we kind of tweak it a little bit to kind of go to better serve our kids, I guess. Yeah.
So would club look differently? Do you think club looks different in that setting?
Some things do look different. Like there's some things that we can't do. But for the most part, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, it's just training is a little different.
Got it. I think I saw a couple hands up front. Yes.
How did you get involved with Impacting Hearts?
Oh man.
How did you get involved with Impacting Hearts?
So, it was through a friend, and that I met at school, and she used to go to, a church in South Bay that she invited us to, and later, that's where, I met Wayne and other leaders like Raja, who's up there too, and, they invited me to club, and, I would have been considered at risk, just because of the dynamic that I had at home and stuff like that. So I went mostly because it was a way out at home. It wasn't, it wasn't crazy or anything. It was a way for me to get out. So that's how I got involved.
Thank you. Irene?
Yeah. As a criminal justice major, I'm very aware of the reality there is in the foster care system and the corruption that exists within the foster system and the role that plays in the lives of children. Do you think that there is a way that YoungLife could partner with the community to kind of weed out those people who are really looking for a self-interest, whether that be receiving some sort of aid from the government just to be able to provide for themselves while using a foster kid kind of as an excuse to receive those?
That is a very good question, Irene. Oh man.
27 words.
I'm not sure. What I would think is definitely growing that relationship with the kids, so you know what's going on at home and what their living situation is like. And also, we're really big also on building relationships with the social workers, with the DCFS people. So maybe that's how we can get more involved. Just being there with the kids and just being close with their social workers so we can do something about that.
I invite any of you that are interested to inquire of Amy to learn more about how we're doing this and perhaps how you can do it. You have time for one more, and I think Javier, your hand.
Yeah, Amy, but that's important. Do you guys take them to camp?
Yes, we do take them to camp. We're actually getting ready and signing kids up right now. But yeah, we do take them to camp. We take them to Woodley.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Amy.